Now let's bring you more on that news that the UK is proposing more than 30 reforms to bolster the City of London's role as a global financial centre, which is of course now outside the European Union and facing some pretty tough competition from cities like Amsterdam and Paris and Frankfurt, as well as New York and Singapore. Well, the reforms are quite controversial. Let's talk about them with Mich McAteer, who's a former board member of the Financial Conduct Authority, now founder and co-director of the Financial Inclusion Centre. Mick, thanks very much for being with us. First of all, I know you've got some opinions about these proposals, but why do you think the government are bringing them in? What is it trying to do to the city? Is this because we fear, or the government fear, that the City of London is slipping behind after Brexit these other cities?
Yeah, well, there is certainly evidence that the City of London is losing ground on some of its major European competitors. Safe to say the city still remains the biggest centre in Europe, but it's certainly losing ground. So what seems to be happening is that the government wants to deregulate to reduce costs for the City of London, to make it what it calls more competitive, so it can win more business back from around the world rather than relying so much on European Union business. That's the theory, anyway.
Some of our viewers are old enough to remember the sort of deregulation in the 1980s, Big Bang. Is this a sort of second kind of Big Bang?
It's certainly been sold as being Big Bang 2.0, but I think the lesson of history that I would rather remember is the 2008 financial crisis. Now, what's happening here is that the government and the City of London are selling deregulation as a way of promoting economic growth. But of course, don't forget the 2008 financial crisis cost this country £1.8 trillion in lost economic output. Our financial system is not yet strong enough since the financial crisis to actually take yet another gamble with deregulation and reductions in consumer protection. Because if it goes wrong, of course, the City of London will walk away with its profits and bonuses, but ordinary people, ordinary taxpayers, ordinary households will end up paying the price for another failed regulatory gamble.
But when you say a regulatory gamble, I mean, the government are saying these are sensible reforms. Are you saying that, there's a serious danger that they could lead to another financial crisis, another financial crash of the kind we saw in 2008?
Well, a lot of respected people, veterans of the city, veterans of the regulatory system, are concerned that this is a slippery slope to even further deregulation. Now, there's no question about it that our banks are stronger than they were pre-2008, but they're far from strong enough to withstand another major financial shock in the global financial system. Secondly, a financial conjuring trick makes our insurance sector look stronger than it really is. And of course, the UK remains very, very exposed to risks in the global financial system, simply because our financial markets are actually such a big part of our economy. So if things do go wrong again in the global financial system, we're more exposed than most of our economic rivals. So that's what I'm saying is people are really, really feared that the combination of these measures are leading to a serious amount of deregulation and reductions in consumer protection in the UK financial sector.
And you're also worried specifically, aren't you, about what it might mean for the levelling up agenda? Just explain that.
Well, this is really interesting because, again, I've been listening to the government and the city lobbyists spin today that deregulation will free up the City of London to invest in levelling up our social housing or in the green transition. Now, what's going to happen is that they're going to take our money, the money that they manage for us, they're going to speculate in even more risky activities. Now, if that all goes wrong, as I was saying, the city will have banked its bonuses and we'll pick up the price. But I think what's going to happen in terms of levelling up is that the city will generate more profits, higher returns from the more deprived areas of the UK, and that is simply going to exacerbate inequality rather than promote levelling up.
So when Jeremy Hunt says these reforms, 30 or so changes, are going to turbocharge growth, and says that regulation of financial services remains robust despite that relaxation, you basically don't believe what the government is saying?
I simply do not agree with that. I can definitely tell you that when it comes to particularly the insurance industry and the pensions industry, the government is forcing through serious reductions in consumer protection to try and give more freedom to the city institutions to generate higher returns. We will end up paying for that if this goes wrong, if this gamble fails yet again.
Very interesting to hear what you've got to say on that. Mich McAteer, thank you very much indeed. A former board member of the Financial Conduct Authority. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.